Whoa! It seems I've gone back in time. The 90s? But what could possibly be back here? Wait a minute. 1996 was the year that Nintendo 64 came out! Well, the 90s were certainly a very unique time period. But it was also when one of Nintendo's best consoles was released. The Nintendo 64 was Nintendo's first 3D console, and it ushered in some of the best 3D games to come out in the market. Some of you may have heard of 007 GoldenEye. This game may possibly be one of the most recognizable games of the era. But there were plenty more amazing games to come out during this console's lifetime, including two of my favorites, Super Mario 64 and Paper Mario. Mario's step into 3D was wonderful and honestly remains one of my favorites to date. Okay, now let's get into the hardware. The console itself was very slick looking, abandoning much of the gray, boxy enclosure for a much more sleek, dark grayish, blackish, you can see it here. It also had some slots in it, like this one here. See that? Expansion slots for upgrades that would basically allow the system to do more. Some of these would be necessary for things like the release of Donkey Kong 64, which you need to replace the memory extension right in the front here. I'll say though, it was one heck of a game. So, let's look at the controller. It was certainly one of the more unconventional of Nintendo's controllers, but I guess that's not saying a lot today. It had 3 grip handles, which didn't make much sense being that most people only have 2 hands, but oh well. The button layout looked a little funky, but still worked great nonetheless. It kind of seemed like they were like, well, we need the D-pad, but what if people want to use the joystick instead? Clearly, they never expected people to use both at the same time, like we often do today. The Nintendo 64 was Nintendo's first awkward memory card system. Nothing against them, every console evolution went through it. Nintendo did do something different with this though. Instead of putting the memory card in the console itself, they put it right into the controller. This is actually pretty cool. Mostly because this same slot was used for a rumble pack, which is what I have right here. This one actually has a switch between the two. But that's not its only first. It was also the first controller to have a trigger smack dab in the middle of the grip handle right here. I got the Nintendo 64 from a family friend back when I was probably about 8. And it was one of the best consoles I've had, and with some of the most creative games I've played. I loved it. And this is the same console as I had then. I actually plan to go back and play Paper Mario here sooner or later too. So, thanks for watching Show and Tell, and I'll see you again next time. Wait, how do I get back to 2017?